It is September 9th, the first day of the real NFL. Yeah, we already had the Philadelphia game. First Sunday.
2018.
And we're here with Kenny White from the X Factor, oddsxfactor.com. Now, you might have seen him, you might have heard him on Sirius Channel 204, VSiN.com. You might have seen him on CBS HQ. I was just joking with you that I have you on the radio in the office, and then I look up and I have you on the TV, and you're in two places simultaneously. Yeah. It's amazing.
In a lot of places in a short couple of days.
Exactly. So, what are your thoughts right now as we're watching? It's going up, we're about to go into halftime in the Bears Green Bay game. What are you've been on an absolute roll. Your biggest play yesterday was Houston. Some people say Houston. Some people say Houston. Wherever you're from, that was like you've been on a roll.
That was a really good play. Wish I had a lot of plays like that one.
Right.
I felt really confident about that. Arizona, 3 starting offensive linemen are out. Their center, 25 career starts. Their left tackle, 39 career starts. And their right tackle, he's out. They had no starters on the offensive line. They had no experience. That's why they're not getting any yardage for Khalil Tate, their starting quarterback. He's a great quarterback, but no blocking, you can't score. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of good information.
So I know that we normally do these long videos, but I mean, really, you're talking literally from 8 in the morning till 8 in the evening about sports, whether it's TV.
How about 6 in the morning?
6
till 11 in the evening.
Till 11 in the evening. So I don't want to like bore everybody with. I don't want to bore you actually, because you're just repeating what you said on VSiN and what you said on CBS. But when it's week 1 and everybody's playing emotionally, you're seeing everybody wearing jerseys. Again, what's your take? I still believe NFL is the hardest sport to beat. I can't say I'm from Baltimore and brag that the Baltimore Ravens beat up on Buffalo. It's like they're going to adjust the line next week, and they're going to make. This is a Thursday night game with Cincinnati and the Bengals. So
that was not adjusted as much as I thought it was. Baltimore was 1 last week, and that's what they are today. I thought it would be Baltimore 3, but Buffalo was adjusted now.
Right.
Buffalo is plus 6.5. Now you can get 8.5 or 9 with Buffalo.
So how much of the last week's game determines the adjustment on the next week's line, or the books usually stand pat on the number?
Bookmakers are smart. They don't want to overreact. They don't want to over-adjust, and that's what we're betting. We don't want to over-adjust as well.
Right.
Don't adjust to what you've seen last too much. If you want to adjust a point, but don't adjust like a touchdown and say, you saw, we'll give Baltimore, that's a perfect example. Don't go bet Baltimore on Thursday night just because what you saw against Buffalo. They're not playing Buffalo now, they're playing Cincinnati. Completely different game. They got to travel, short week. They may not be the same team they were last week at home.
Well, and to your point, a client of mine who lives in Kansas City said to me, you may think the Chiefs rolled against, you may think San Diego's that bad. They're not as bad as Kansas City illustrated how bad they were with no defense.
They're not that bad.
And so,
hey, we'll throw this in. Andy Reid is great when you give him time to prepare.
Right.
So he was great.
But they'll be over.
But he won't have the same time to prepare next week.
People will be betting Kansas City like mad next week.
They will be betting Kansas City like mad next week, yeah.
Right.
And you know what? Mahomes didn't throw an interception today. Maybe he throws 3 next week.
Right. How do you know everything like that? Like, somebody asked me, a client called me and said he knows every stat. It is amazing. How do you did you physically watch every game today? You can't.
And I feel like I've got a bad memory, so it's funny that you feel like I remember stuff. I write a lot of stuff down because I've known for a long time I don't remember everything, so I write things down.
But like when he didn't throw an interception, is that because you physically were watching that game and you're checking the stats?
I'm checking the stats. I saw a couple throws he made, but that was it. More than anything, I'm looking at the stats, the numbers. I'm looking at that in-game. I had a couple in-game wagers. I took the Chargers plus 17.5 and 16.5.
Wow.
Because I knew they had a veteran quarterback, and he was going to get a couple touchdowns. He almost cut this game to 3. I mean, they were there knocking on the door. They missed a field goal. They missed a field goal. They could have cut it to 7.
So, like this game right now is 17-0. We're not going to talk about what you would play, but if you were a member at oddsxfactor.com, you could have access to his in-game live text alerts. He texts them directly to our office. He's too busy to deal directly with you, as I always say. But
too many customers.
But I will say this, with the too many customers, the people that aren't customers that are going to watch this video recorded, most of them are going to be betting Green Bay with both fists in the second half. And that's just the nature of the losing favorite at halftime.
Yeah, quite possibly, yeah.
And we talk about this for many years. That's not a valid strategy. Take the favorite just because they're down.
No.
If you did that with Miami, Florida against Virginia Tech, you lost. If you did that with Texas last Saturday against Maryland, you lost.
There is no strategy to looking at what the line did and what the line's going to do. The only strategy is to know how good the teams are and how good they're going to play from week to week, half to half, game to game.
So when you're watching, when you're doing in-game, and you see like maybe Rodgers got hurt there, he's on like I don't think the average square better cares. They're just taking Green Bay in the second half.
Well, that's pretty square because if you don't have Aaron Rodgers, you're probably on the wrong side. I mean, I don't know what the number is. I'm going to go find out here in a minute.
Cameraman, can you see what the halftime line is on that game?
Pick 'em. Hey, John.
Picking 20.5. It's picking 20.5.
Picking 20.5.
You're talking about a team that was laying 6.5 before the game. Now they're picking 20.5. Is it built in that Rodgers?
Now they're getting 17. Yeah, the Rodgers is built in. If Aaron Rodgers was going to play the second half, I would have to guesstimate Green Bay would be about 7 in the second half.
Because it's usually about the same line as the original.
No. Well, it all depends on the score.
Right.
17-0.
Right.
If the game was tied, it would probably be about 4.5 in that range.
Real quick, off the subject of football, and then we'll wrap up this video. What do you think about my Orioles losing their 101st game today?
It's simply amazing. It really is. I just don't know how
normally
any organization can be that bad. But obviously things are going to get better. They are tanking.
Well, so define that for them, because people ask me, and I'll ask Kenny when I'm in Vegas, like, why the players still have self-worth when they walk out on the field? Are they collectively going out there and saying, we're just going to chew gum and we're not going to try? I mean, do you really
No, the players aren't doing that. They just run up with a lot of young guys. They've traded away a lot of pieces. Kevin Gosman's a great pitcher. See what he's doing for Atlanta. So they've traded away most of their bullpen. And they're just playing young kids. They've got a couple guys at AAA that actually could help them right now, but they don't want the help, so they've left them down. They'll bring these guys up next year in spring training.
So do you believe that, like, the ownership management of these teams that are bad, like Kansas City and Baltimore, literally go out there and tank them, kids, so we can get the first
No,
round?
they never say that. They never tell the players to tank. They do it as an organization by not putting enough quality players on the field.
And I also think it depends what geographic location you're in. So I live in Baltimore. Our fans are insane. We lost 101 games, and they still go to the games. They still go to the games.
The Miami Marlins had the worst attendance in baseball last year, but yet they made $200 million. $200 million. The owner made $200 million, and nobody went to their games.
Wow.
It's all in the TV revenue share, so it's a business now. This isn't a family-owned thing that, hey, we're going to make the team great for the fans. They don't care. The Miami Marlins now, when they traded everybody away, Jeter's group made $300 million this year. They made $300 million, and they had one of the worst records in baseball.
So now I know you were born in New Jersey, and then you came here at a very young age. So both places have legal sports wagering.
Yes.
So what is your take on that? I had a tweet went out that's saying that they guesstimate the revenue and the handle in New Jersey will be bigger in 2021 than in Las Vegas. How's that possible? From the Northeast money that doesn't fly here?
Correct, and I heard that too. I'm gonna move it up a year. I think 2020.
How do you think that affects?
It might surpass in 2019. I should say that. I mean, next year they may surpass.
And how do you think that affects these shots?
Not at all. This is all California people coming to you know, West Coast people. It's gonna,
Well, I guess I'm used to flying out
it's
east, so
gonna be it's going to be a divided split, basically, because and the reason why New Jersey is going to surpass Vegas is the population.
Right.
20 times population compared to what we have here.
And even
if you just draw like a 500-mile radius around Las Vegas, a 500-mile radius around New Jersey.
Yes.
The population destroys Las Vegas.
Right. And I will say that I still like the flash and panache of Las Vegas. So, like, I haven't been running up to I went to Delaware once, but it's like, first of all, the infrastructure isn't there yet. I told you the lines are long, the limits are low. They're going to have more than one book.
They'll figure it out.
Right now, you got Borgata, and that's it.
They'll figure it out, but you're right, nobody can recreate the Las Vegas Strip.
Right.
Can't be recreated. So we've got that going for us. We'll never go away. We're just going to get bigger because more people can want to bet.
Right.
And they're going to want the experience. They'll come.
Right, exactly. And that goes back to, I noticed a lot more financial traders calling and inquiring, like, how do I do this? Because now, like, from Jersey, like, it's not under the covers. It's just like opening up a trading account, you know, which is amazing. Did you ever think, I've been doing this 30 years, you've been doing this 31 years, we'll say.
Yeah.
Did you ever think in your life that Mississippi, Delaware, New Jersey, any place outside of Nevada would...
Yeah, I thought it would happen 20 years ago. I thought it would have happened 20 years ago. We're so late. I thought we'd be 20 years ago. I thought we'd be going to the games and betting.
So I don't know if this is true. Somebody told me, and I'm not going to name who from their confidential source, that they're trying to develop a system that they're going to jam cell phones in the Oakland games so they can't bet live on their phones in the stadium.
I've heard several places trying to do that.
Why?
They said they've
Why
tried
would
to
it
do
matter?
it here.
Why would it matter?
Why would it matter? Exactly. I don't know. I'm not sure if they can do that or not.
But like, what would they care? Like, I think you get in-game live bet the Oakland game while you're
Is that
sitting in the
jealousy?
stadium. Right,
Jealousy?
But I know a guy that's...
They don't have part of the action.
Right, exactly. And there was rumors that originally these states were going to try to like get a tax over and above the vig. I think that's out the window. What are you going to lay 17 cents on every 10-cent number? I mean,
you're right. That's what it's going to come down to. So I'm sure they will work something out. Their stats, we live off their stats and their feed and the score and all that. So a lot of that, and for the live feed, for in-game wagering, is very important. They'll figure out how much that's the value of that, and that will be sold for a big ticket to everyone who wants to use that.
Right. Now, even though it's week 1 of the NFL, week 2 of college, I asked Brian this. Isn't the air out of it like Alabama's going to win the championship, and they can't make the line high enough? They can't make the line high enough.
They still have to play Auburn at the end of the year. They haven't even won their conference last year.
So, but when you talk about overvaluing and undervaluing games, when you have a team like Alabama that 2 weeks in a row, no matter how high the number was, they just wiped it off the map. Are they going to keep inflating that number every week, and it's going to come down to parity? Because
wouldn't you? Wouldn't you, Ilver? You would have to keep inflating it. You don't want to keep losing every bet on Alabama, so it'll get to the point where the line's too high. I heard the other day that Saban he's only like 6-12 his last 18 games when he's 40 or more point favorite. So he's not crushing those type of points. This team's a little bit more up tempo on offense. They score more on offense. They're going to cover spread. But when we see the bookmaker overinflate these numbers, it's going to catch up to Alabama. They just won't come to it.
So if you want to get that X factor, you want to get, look, you don't have to do the homework. You don't have to sit there and try to do what he does from 6 in the morning to 11 p.m. in the evening. You can tune in, you can listen to him on VSiN, you can listen to him on CBS. He's everywhere. He just doesn't like to tweet, so don't worry about Twitter. But the reality is subscribe. Go to oddsxfactor.com. Deal with somebody that's actually in the mix of it. Get access to his alerts. If you want to find out the games that he's moving on at halftime, there's a way to do that. If you just want his early analysis, there's a way to do that. But there's only one thing I want to know. I lost Pittsburgh today, -3, and I want your take to end this video. Do you believe that they should have a playoff? It should just keep going until it ends. This tie nonsense for me to lay 3. And I mean, if I lose by 3 at halftime, I'm okay with that. Okay, I'm okay with that. But what is that all about?
I hate ties. I hate to see a tie. This is the first opening week tie.
Pro bettors must have been happy. Cleveland finally covered.
1971, first opening
I was
week
born
tie.
in '73. I wasn't even alive.
You weren't even alive the last
Right.
time they tied in week 1.
47 years ago.
You know, the new rule change, everybody's got to be caught up to the new rule change. It's only a 10-minute overtime now. Used to be a 15-minute overtime. So we're going to get a couple of more ties now because of the shortage of the overtime.
So really,
these
gets
players,
the dog
it's too much
value.
on these players. They've proven that after these overtime games, these teams struggle the next week.
Oh, so then you don't ever foresee it like a college, a secondary overtime.
I think it could change to that one day. I would prefer they would go to a shootout like college has right now than the way they're doing it. It'll change. It'll change one day.
Yeah, like I said, a bad way for me to lose a game. I don't know if you watched that game. I thought it was over. I went out to get a coffee. Came back, it was tied. I said, well, I'll lose by 3 or I'll tie.
Yeah.
I never thought in a million years.
Well, more teams are going for the touchdown in overtime too, because if you kick a field goal on your first possession, the other team gets the football.
Right.
But if you score the touchdown, game over.
So to close this video, what are the biggest changes you've seen that they instituted in off-season to affect the sports betting this season?
No, the helmet to helmet contact
Right,
has
yeah.
created more plays for the offense. Created more penalty yards.
2 games went over today.
Yeah. A lot of games went over in the preseason because of those type of rules. The overtime rule is one of the biggest, but that doesn't affect sports betting on a major level because it doesn't happen that often.
Right.
1 out of every 20 games goes in overtime.
Well, like I said, oddsxfactor.com, the Kenny White. Now listen, all summer long I've been getting calls in my office from people that use different, all their first names happen to be Kenny, but their last names aren't. There's a lot of imitators. This is Kenny White. Featured on VSiN, featured on CBS Sports Line, featured at oddsxfactor.com. If you want his plays, make sure that you're going to oddsxfactor.com, not Kenny White, fakepicks.com. A lot of imitators. Are you flattered
There
by
are,
that?
I know.
Are you flattered by that?
Yeah, I am, but it's kind of aggravating too because I don't want people to lose their money by some flim-flam man trying to use my name.
Right.
It's upsetting sometimes.
So, I take the calls and I tell them, it's funny, I just shot a video with Kenny White and I sent him over to my YouTube channel and they hang up the phone. So, again, no imitation, right here, Kenny White, oddsxfactor.com. It is week 1, September 9th. Real quick, what do you say about the doubleheader? Should there be more of them on Monday Night Football? Or
Yes, every Monday night should be a doubleheader. The bookmaker would love it.
What do you mean, you got 4 teamers going, you got 8 teamers?
The bookmaker would love it, yeah, because it's all it all comes down to one game on Monday night usually. All the parlays are going to that one game. If you had 2 games, kind of split those up a little bit. The book would win one or lose one, they'd be very happy with that.
oddsxfactor.com.